Hello everyone, it's me Dr.V.Srividhya from G.F.G.Srividhya. The subject which I'm going to discuss now is cost management and the topic is section B, problems on flexible budget. Here we just watch what has been given in this problem. Prepare a flexible budget for production at 80% and 100% activity based on the following information. In this problem, what they have given you is they have given you 50% capacity details. At 50% capacity, the company has the capacity to manufacture 5,000 units. You can look into it. Here it is stated that at 50% capacity, the number of units manufactured by the organization is 5,000 and raw material cost they have given per unit cost rupees 80 per unit. So how you have to calculate for raw material, the cost is 5,000 into 80, that will be 4 lakhs. Next, direct labor also they have given per unit cost. In the last session, the amount was taken, the full amount was given directly, but here since per unit cost is given, what you need to do is you have to multiply into number of units. It will be quite easy to calculate for 80% and 100% capacity also. There what you did in the previous session problem is, since for certain percentage of capacity it was given, that is for 70%, 80% capacity it was given. So how you calculated is, for 80% the cost what has been given was taken into consideration, and for 70% how much. So what you did? You did cross multiplication. But here it is quite easily given. Just you need to multiply per unit cost into number of units manufactured. This is applicable only for variable cost. Next what they have given is factory expenses. Factory expenses is 50,000 and in bracket what it has been mentioned is 50% is fixed, which means to say that 50% in 50,000 you have to calculate, and that remains the same both for 50%, 80% and 100% also. For 50% also it is the same, for 80% also it is the same, and also for 100%. So this fixed expenses remains the same for all the capacity manufacturing. Next is administrative expenses. Here they are given the amount of 60,000 and in bracket just see what it has been mentioned, 60% variable. So in 60,000 calculate how much is 40%. 60% variable means it indicates that 40% is fixed. So calculate how much is 40% in 60,000. That will be taken for all the levels of capacity. Now we'll see the solution. See in this solution, this is a section B problem and it's quite simple. So but just you have to take 50%, 80% and 100%, make it into 3 column, particulars in 1 column, and materials they had given for 50% per unit cost. How much it was per unit cost for materials? It was 80 rupees per unit. So now what you have to do is 5,000 into 80. When you take 5,000 into 80, the material cost becomes 4 lakhs. Next, take for labor. Labor what they have mentioned, labor is 50 per unit. So here again you take 5,000 into 50. 5,000 into 50 is 2,50,000. Next, you should keep on referring the problem so you will get an idea how you got this amount. Next, factory expenses what they had mentioned amount is 50,000. And in 50,000 they had clearly mentioned that 50% is fixed. So what is 50% of 50,000? 50% of 50,000 is 25,000. So take 25,000 for 50%, for 80% as well as for 100%. You can check out it is the same 50, 80 and 100. It remains the same, that is 25, 25 and 25. Next 25,000 is variable. So here you have to again cross multiply and check out. For 50% capacity, the variable expenses related to factory is 25,000. So what will be for 80%? For 50% it is 25,000. For 80% how much? So 25,000 into 80 divided by 50, you will get 40,000. That is for 80% the variable expenses will be 40,000. Similarly, you find out for 100% also variable. See here, one more easy way is for 50%, what is the variable expenses? 25,000. For 100%, it will be double, that is 50,000. Or if you find it difficult, again you can use the cross multiplication technique. That is, for 50%, it is 25,000. For 100%, how much? So 100 into 25,000 divided by 50, you will get 50,000. Either way you can calculate. Otherwise, when 50 for 50% it is 25,000, it is easily understood for 100% it will be 50,000. Directly also you can take for variable expenses. Next comes the administrative expenses. How much is the administrative expenses? Refer the problem. They have given 60,000. For administrative expenses 60,000, and within the bracket you can check what they have mentioned, 60% variable. So what you need to do is first 60,000 into 40 by 100, that is fixed expenses. Find out how much is fixed expenses. 60,000 into 40 by 100 will be 24,000. So that 24,000, what you need to do is you can take the same for all the levels of capacity, 24,000, 24,000 and 24,000. You can see in this image for fixed how in all the three columns it is the same because it is fixed. Next, balance. So balance 60%, that is balance 60% is 36,000. So for 50% capacity, you can take balance 36,000 as variable. Now for administrative expenses for 50% capacity, you have calculated it as 36,000. That is after taking 40%. So in 60,000, if you take 40%, that is 24,000. 60,000 minus 24,000 is 36,000. That 36,000 you have taken for 50% capacity. Now what? How you are going to calculate for 80%? Same how you calculated in the previous problem. Cross multiplication. For 50% amount is 36,000. For 80% how much? So 36,000 into 80 divided by 50, you will get 57,600. So for 80% capacity, the amount what you have got is 57,600. Similarly, check out for 100% also. 100% you are taken fixed, that is 24,000. Now what you have to calculate is for variable. Variable, how we are going to calculate? For 50%, the cost is 36,000. For 100%, how much? So when you calculate and cross multiply, that is 36,000 into 100 divided by 50, you will get 72,000. So that 72,000 has to be taken as variable expenses related to administrative expenses at 100% capacity. Next, what you have to do is just total all the three columns. You will get total cost for 50% capacity, 80% capacity and 100% capacity. So this gives the clear indication as to what will be the total cost at each level of production. If the organization is to carry 50% production, what will be the cost? For 80%, what will be the cost? And for 100%, what will be the cost? This can be found out by using this flexible budget. Next problem, we'll look into the next problem. Next problem, again this also is section B problem. Here, again they have given the expenses to produce 5,000 units in a factory. And here also they have given per unit cost. And what you have to find out is you have to prepare a budget to produce 7,000 units. So they have given the cost which is incurred for 5,000 units. Keeping that as a base, you have to find out what will be the cost if the company manufactures 7,000 units. Here they have given per unit cost. You have to make two columns for 5,000 units and two columns for 7,000 units. Why two columns is you also have to find out per unit cost. How you can find out per unit cost is here they have given all the expenses as per unit cost. You have to just multiply it into number of units. Now see the image of the next slide where for 5,000 and 7,000 it is taken separately per unit and total amount. Variable under variable overheads, they have given raw material, direct labor and variable overhead. These three are 100% variable. Raw material varies as per the number of units manufactured. You are going to use the raw material only when you are going to manufacture. So when you are going to manufacture more number of units, raw materials also has to be used more in number. That is why it is termed as variable overheads. So we'll see for raw material per unit they have given 100 into 5,000 it is 5 lakhs, and for 7,000 units also what you have to do is just multiply 100 into 7,000, you will get 7 lakhs. So raw material work is over. We have found out what will be the raw material cost which is 100% variable. Next, similarly, direct labor also varies with the number of units manufactured. When the number of units increases, cost also increases. Here in direct labor, what they have given per unit cost, check the previous slide, or since we have taken here is as two columns, that is both per unit cost and total cost. You can take, you can see here direct labor per unit it is 40. So 40 into 5,000, when you multiply, you will get 2 lakhs. So for direct labor, per unit cost is 40 and the amount is 2 lakhs. Similarly, for 7,000 units, per unit cost remains the same. At any level of unit, when the per unit cost is given, it remains the same. It cannot vary. So again here, what you have to just do is 7,000 into 40. That will give you 2,80,000. Here itself you can check. For 5,000 units, the direct labor incurred is 2 lakhs. For 7,000, it is 2,80,000. You can see the variation. As the production increases, the cost also increases. Similarly, raw material also, for 5,000 units, it is 5 lakhs. For 7,000 units, it is 7 lakhs. So, as the production increases, here also the cost has increased. Now, we'll see what is this variable overhead. In variable overhead, the unit cost what they have given is 30 rupees. So, 5,000 into 30, the total cost for variable overhead under 5,000 units capacity will be 1,50,000. Again, I repeat 5,000 into 30, you will get 1,50,000. So per unit is 30 and total cost at 5,000 units level of capacity will be 1,50,000. Similarly, for 7,000 also you can check out. Per unit remains the same, that is 30 rupees. So 7,000 into 30, you will get 2,10,000. So layer unit cost and total cost, how unit cost remains the same, but total cost at each level of capacity of production, it increases. Now we'll come to semi-variable overhead. So variable overhead is 100% variable. In semi-variable overheads, certain percentage will be treated as fixed and certain percentage will be treated as variable. So here the problem they have mentioned it as variable is just 5% and fixed is 95%. Here they have not given unit cost. See, look into the problem. In administration expenses, they have stated that 5% is variable and the unit cost what they have given is 20. Per unit cost is 20 and in that 5% is variable. So here what you have to do is that 20 rupees will be taken into consideration. In 20 rupees, if you find out 5%, that will be just 1 rupee. That 1 rupee will be treated as variable. So 5,000 into 1 is 5,000. The per unit cost, how much it was given? 20 rupees. In 20 rupees, what they have stated is 5% is variable. So in 20 rupees, 5% is 1 rupee. So 5,000 into 1 is 5,000. Again, same 1 rupee you can take per unit cost for variable under administrative expenses. Under administrative expenses, variable they have given 5%. So in 20 rupees you have found out 5% is 1 rupee. So keeping that 1 rupee as base, for 7,000 also what you can do is 7,000 into 1, that is 7,000. Next, fixed. So balance in 20 rupees, if 1 rupee is variable, then balance 19 rupees is fixed. So when you take 5,000 into 19, the amount what you get is 95,000. 95,000 remains the same even for 7,000 units. So the total amount related to administrative expenses which is fixed, that is 95,000, you can take the same for 5,000 units as well as for 7,000 units. But one thing here you can check out is the unit cost varies. In variable, what varies is amount. Unit cost remains the same. But in fixed expenses, when the production increases, the fixed amount will be the same. But unit cost, that is per unit cost varies. How you got here 13.57 is just divide 95,000 95,000 divided by 7,000. When you divide, you will get the unit cost as 13.5 thousand. Here, what does it indicate is, as the production increases, the unit cost related to fixed goes on decreasing. Per unit cost decreases when it comes to fixed when the production increases. Next, selling expenses. Selling expenses, what they have given the amount is 12 rupees. In 12 rupees, they have stated that 20% is fixed. So first you have to find out 20% of 12 rupees. 20% of 12 rupees is 2.40 and 80% is variable, that is 9.60. For variable expenses, per unit cost remains the same. So 5,000 into 9.6, you will get 48,000. When you go for 7,000 units, 7,000 into 9.6, you will get 67,200. So it varies. The amount varies, unit cost remains the same. Now when you come to this fixed, 20% is fixed. In 12 rupees, 9.60 goes for variable, 2.40 goes for fixed. So 5,000 into 2.40, when you multiply, the amount what you get is 12,000. This 12,000 remains the same for 5,000 units as well as for the 7,000 units. You can check out here in this solution. In amount column, it remains the same. 12,000 remains the same both for 5,000 units as well as for the 7,000 units. When this 12,000 is divided by 5,000, you get 2.40 per unit. Similarly, when you divide 12,000 by 7,000, you get 1.71 per unit cost. Same way for distribution expenses. Distribution expenses, they have given 10% fixed and the amount is 10 rupees. So you have to calculate 10% of 10 rupees, that will be 1 rupee. 5,000 into 1 is 5,000. 7,000 into 1 is 7,000. 5,000 into 1 is 5,000, that is for fixed. 10% is 1 rupee. And it remains the same. 5,000 remains the same even for 7,000 units also. This is fixed expenses, so it does not vary. Only thing is you have to find out per unit cost for fixed. That is 5,000 divided by 7,000. Whatever amount you get, that will be the per unit cost. And for variable, in 10 rupees, if 1 rupee goes for fixed, 9 rupees is for variable. So that 9 rupees, 5,000 into 9, you will get 45,000. That will be the variable cost for 5,000 units related to distribution expenses. Similarly, when you take for 7,000, 7,000 into 9, you will get 63,000. Again, that will be the variable cost related to distribution expenses at 7,000 units capacity. Next, they have given fixed overhead. Refer the previous slide. Fixed overhead, they have given us 1 lakh amount and per unit is 20. Fixed overheads amount within bracket they have given 1 lakh. So you have to take that 1 lakh for both levels of capacity, both for 5,000 as well as 7,000. When you divide this 1 lakh by 5,000, per unit cost will be 20,000. That you have to divide. Then you will get per unit cost as 20,000. Similarly, you can divide the amount 1 lakh by 7,000. You will get per unit cost. After all this, you have to just total the cost per unit as well as the total amount. So at 5,000 capacity, you will get 11 lakh 60,000. The total cost which will be incurred is 11 lakh 60,000 and the per unit cost will be 2 lakh 32,000. Similarly, you can calculate even for 7,000 units. What will be the total cost for 7,000 units, and that if when you calculate divided by 7,000 units or per unit cost, when you total it up, you get per unit cost. This is how you are going to calculate in the flexible budget when you have to take into consideration both per unit cost as well as total amount. Thank you all for hearing to this video where we have discussed section B problems. Like it will be simple problem. This problem you may get even for section C also. Second problem what we have discussed with one more capacity, with increase in one more capacity or similarly only for one capacity, since you are going to find out per unit cost also, you can be prepared even for the section C problem also. Thank you all for hearing to this video. Any doubts you can feel free to contact me. Thank you all.